Hello, everybody, and welcome to this evening's show. I'll be interviewing Mikey Mike,
Hey.
a legend in the industry for many, many years, 40 plus years. Welcome, Mikey. How are you?
Hey, we're doing good. Thanks, Howie. I really appreciate that.
Excellent. So tell me, what got you into DJing?
What got me into it is actually I wanted to meet girls. So, and I said, what better way to meet girls than at school dances? So I'm like, I'll be a DJ. And then I started to, buy equipment and do my thing. And I found out that that wasn't the best way to meet girls because you were always working and you had gear to deal with at the end of the show, but it made me money and then I could take people out. So it was kind of a reverse engineered type of thing there, but it worked out okay.
So how old were you when you had this revelation?
Yeah, I started at 15 years old and I'm about 16 and a half right now, something like that. So just a couple of years ago.
Excellent. Now, you came onto my radar when YouTube used to have suggested videos, and I was looking at something else, and you came up on the right-hand panel, and it was do it from scratch. So I was like, yeah, let's take a look-see. And I watched every one of them, from your case building to the famous inverted mirror ball, which I hope we see a little bit later.
Yeah, so maybe we could pull that out. Yeah, do it from scratch is just kind of a play on words, DJ scratch and DIY, do it yourself is the same thing. And I try to, share different ways that you could do things with just basic, for the most part, basic tools you can find around your garage, not taking it to a machine shop or not taking it to, this wood production place, but how to really, maximize. I'm cheap. And I'd like to do it myself. I like to tinker. Right. And a hoarder and all that other fun stuff that I think almost all these DJs are. Right. But it was the opportunity to, one, show people around the world how I did things and, show them what the resources were out there, because a lot of people just don't know, that, hey, Pen Fabrication sells these case moldings, and DJs can get that at cost instead of having to go to your local store, hardware store, and, trying to figure out what you're going to get and just try to save people, a dime here or there. Right. So, and most of the time you have a custom setup, right? And how do you make this thing custom? Well, you can do it from scratch and you can do it this way and it still looks professional. Instead of bringing in milk crates and cardboard boxes, it's better to have that anvil style case look than, 100 milk crates coming in and out, or, your cardboard box of, lighting or whatever. I think it just sets a different tone when you show up and you roll in a bunch of road cases than it is when you, roll in a bunch of milk crates. It just has a different flavor to it. People take you serious.
Yes, they will. And
it keeps your gear good as well.
What I particularly enjoyed from way back in the day was how you said, hey, I'm going to make this custom case, and you needed to fit, there was 4 large movers, and you set them on the concrete and you measured around and built around, and it was perfect rather than, so much mat. You made it very clear, simple, easy, with just a handheld circular saw.
Yeah, kind of MacGyvered it, right? And that's it is definitely do it from scratch, right?
Yeah.
That's the way. And if you have a concept with something and you want to try to get there, you just kind of put it together, right? And I'm handy. I can use some woodworking tools. I can use some metal tools. I can sew. I could, we make cases or facades or whatever the case may be, and just show people. Nobody's willing, very few, let me take that back. Very few people are willing to show the industry or how things are made behind the curtains, right?
Right.
And I show people how I take down wires because people don't know, or they got wires going everywhere. It's just a rat, it's a rat's nest a lot of times. And if now people can go, oh, you know what? That looks a lot better that way. Maybe on my show, I could start doing that. And it kind of starts rolling, right? Instead of and always try to do it in a positive way, right? It's not the only way. It's just Mikey Mike's way. It's not your way. You can do it any way you want, because I wrap up my cables in a knot like a contractor. I don't know if you ever seen that daisy chaining kind of thing, right? Well, that's how
Yes,
I do
I
my
have.
cables. And people would scream at me a million times over because, that's not the proper way to do it. But I can throw a million cords in one case and pull out a cord and it's not tangled. And well, it could be tangled if you don't know the super trick to unwind it, right? Then you're tying 800 knots. But if you know and you'll get used to it, it worked for me. So that's what I went with. So I just do things my way, not the right way, not the wrong way, just my way. So, and I try to share that amongst everyone. So,
yeah, that came through in your videos. So, now when did you first start doing what I would call, big shows that are, really well produced, like your background? I mean, that's just outstanding.
Probably 2009, after I kind of discovered uplighting and went with the vertical trussing and got into some scrim things. And, it was stuff that I might have glimpsed at here on the internet or there on the internet. And I'm like, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to share it. I'm going to videotape this. I'm going to share it and let people see this around the world, right? Don't hide it, share it. And that was my concept from day one, is do it all for free, let everybody know. And this just put it out there, because not everybody's going to be able to do it in my area and not everybody can afford it. But if it starts the virus, right? It starts spreading. And guess what? If you look at any venue right now, people have uplighting, they have vertical trussing, they have, it's kind of like the Memorex thing. I don't know if you remember that little, is a live or is a Memorex? Well, you kind of start seeing that concept, right? Taking a small DJ company and make it a production company in a light way, right? Definitely not a production company. I mean, I get it. I worked with a couple production companies, and I think we talked about this the other day. I roll up in my little 12-foot trailer and they roll in with 12 semi trailers, right? And there's no competing, right? But you can take little tips and tricks of what they do to make your life a little bit better. And then I share that.
Yeah, I think that's about the same time that I discovered Brian's channel too, because after, I don't know which one he came first, but you were a suggestion on the side when they used to do that in YouTube. And I'm like, holy cow, there's two other guys like me that know what's going on and how to make things look elegant. And I was thrilled because I didn't know anybody around this area.
Right. And you're a DJ, so you work every weekend, so you can't go out and see somebody. Like, how often do you get to go to a wedding? Hardly ever. Yeah. Well, I can definitely tell you Brian came first because I was watching his videos and he was doing just some kind of just be talking and showing some gear off, and what I can't remember exactly what we called it, but maybe a gig log kind of thing. And then he had some gear. You showed, hey, look at this new gear, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I was like, oh, look at this. Or I think I laid all my gear out in my backyard one day, and I'm like, okay, this is what I got to work with. Like, what do you think? And then it just kind of rolled from there. And then I went to do it from scratch style, and it just became a small little community of YouTube DJs that really set the core to the whole phenomenon, I guess you'd call it. And then we could do video responses to other videos, and you could see the responses in the videos, and that was so much fun. And we actually used, I think it was Skype back in the day, and we had probably this many people in a room, in a Skype room, and we'd stay up all night just chatting about DJ stuff, and it was awesome. I mean, it was so addicting. And it's tough when you got to get up and go to work in the morning, but as a DJ, most DJs are night people. That's the way it works. But we'd get done with a gig at 2 a.m. and it's 4 a.m. on the East Coast or so, and we'll still be there. It was fun. Definitely fun.
It's great. So do you have some screen shares you'd like to show?
Well, yeah, so I have some pictures, but let's see. I have a little video here. So this is 2009. I gotta share my screen, right? So let's see if I can do that again. Share my screen.
Don't forget to click the share audio button too if you got audio.
I'm not sure how much audio is there. Maybe I'll just talk over it because it's kind of all put together. Here we are. Oh, where's the share? We'll try that. Share. So this is actually 2009, and so this is, well, you're going to see skinnier Mikey Mike, but you can see behind me, I got trussing all over the room. Here's me taping down, 800,000 feet of gaff tape to vertical trussing, scrimmed already. Moving heads. We're doing snowflakes on the ceiling. This was a winter wonderland kind of thing. We did video projection up on the top ceiling with, with snowflakes flying around the room, and, full DMX control over the whole room. So that meant daisy chaining everything. There was no wireless back then, right? So, here's another event, taking the vertical mirror ball and putting a little snowman on top to make it kind of wintry. Snow falling off to the side, in the back of the room. Winter Wonderland. This is 2018, so we're moving up in the time frame here. So this is something, but doing the same thing, kind of the video concepts with, projection and integrating lighting and DMX together, but making everything super clean. The vertical mirror ball off to the backside. Just it's all about a look and trying to create a feeling. So this is a wedding actually, and just trying to control the DMX lighting. This couple here, they wanted to kind of do a little performance for their family. So we got the dual mirror balls going, spotlighted with some beam fixtures and full DMX control. I'm off to the side here running a lighting show. But there's, just trying to take it to a next dynamic level and trying to make it as big as possible. And at an affordable price. That's the biggest thing. If you can do it at an affordable price for your clients, and can people get 10 grand, 20 grand for this kind of stuff? Sure. But you know what? I wanted to work and I wanted to enjoy this because I made this. I was like, wow, this is awesome. Right. So here's an event. This is the Game of Thrones. I actually had dragons flying through the room for a Game of Thrones wedding. And these dragons were flying all over the place. Right. And not only flying all over the place, a 50-foot dragon in the venue, but they're flying and breathing fire as well. And I mean, just trying to come up with these things for my clients who are like, you can't do that. I'm like, no, let me do it for you. I'll take care of you. Right. And here's the dragon. We're going to blow fire all over your venue. What? You're going to blow fire over my venue? I can't believe that. Right. So just trying to think of something different and how to do things. This is a sweet 16 birthday party, right? In this ginormous venue. There's, 1,500 of your closest friends of kids that they had, but doing full room uplighting with, 30, 40 uplights, not a lot. And these were some of the older these are like par 38, par 36s, 56s, but using those beam fixtures to shoot, half a mile across the room, and just trying to program that and showing people how to run DMX and just making that Vegas feel in a nightclub. I mean, New York nightclubs sometimes don't look this great, right? So, and this is just a single out mobile DJ having fun, right? Having a great time. And I love doing this kind of stuff. So, trying to look at different ways to do that. And see if you share this on the internet, now people go, ooh, I like that. How can I do that? Right. And I got to work with a lot of great manufacturers, Chauvet and American DJ, and some great, people that, guided me along the way as well. And, showed me some of the coolest fixtures and going to all the trade shows and, Mobile Beat and DJ Expo, and seeing all these type of things really lets you, expand your horizon and go, hey, get the right tool for the right job. You don't have to spend $1 million on a moving head. Like back in the day, a Mac 250 was like $5,000, right? Well, then they started coming out with, the American DJ smaller fixtures, and I had some AccuSpot 250s, which it was the same bulb as in the Mac, version. And I'm like, hey, that, maybe it doesn't have all the features, but it still gets you here, right? I'm not here, but I'm not at the bottom either. So I try to take as much punch as I can in a small package and make it dynamic. And that's, you don't have to spend $1 million. You definitely don't. Buy some used gear. I mean, you always want to have stuff that works for you, but you always want to have that backup. And that's how you end up with, 15 moving heads. Well, I have 3. Oh, you know what? But if those 3 break at the show, I need 3 more to replace those. And then, oh, you know what? But then now I have 6. Guess what? I'm going to need some backups. Well, now I have 12, right? So it's just never ending. And I don't know. I say sometimes, do I DJ to buy, equipment, or do I buy equipment to DJ? It's a evolving circle. So, but it's tons of fun. That's all I got to say.
It really is fun. I mean, when I was watching both yours and Brian's videos, it's like you guys think like I do. It's like, okay, the company built this to do this, but you guys are like, no, it'll do more than that.
Right.
I mean, I've seen, different, it's like, okay, it's supposed to do this. No, we got it doing 3 other things that, people didn't think about.
Exactly.
Like Brian took the one old fixture and it's like, hey, how about if we lean it against the wall? And it's like, wow, that looks great. That's not what it was intended for, but
exactly. Right. And I've laid lighting on the floor and just, it's not up lighting, it's floor lighting now. And it just shoots across the floor and people are like, what is that? Well, that's what I'm doing.
And your idea with the inverted mirror ball, my gosh,
right. A lot of fun.
Like, you've got to figure, like, okay, you're showing things here from 2009 that look like current setups now.
Right. That was 2009, right? And we were doing this probably before that, easy. Mm-hmm. So here's a reverse mirror ball effect. Let's see if we can find it. So this is a reverse mirror ball. I call it the inverted mirror ball, reverse upside down mirror ball. It took I don't know how many school events you've done in the past where I've taken 60 foot of rope and try to hook it over the beams up there and then hoist up a ball with an electrical cord and then bring that back to the bleachers and tie it off and then not worried about rigging or anything. Safety, that wasn't a thing back then.
Right.
But you can't do this in any venue. You can't do this outside. You can't hang a mirror ball from the moon. It just doesn't work, right? But I could take this outside and just blast an outside venue and light up the trees and just make it amazing where people are like, how do you even do this? And if you hit it with the right fixture, if you hit these with a 5R beam instead of a wash, or it really focuses that light and you get the right, nice big ball, effect around. And if you control with DMX, I can make it slow and romantic, or I can make it warp speed and do, the time warp or something and having it go in Mach 5 where people are, gacking in the chairs back there because that was the effect, right? That was the intended look.
Or reverse it even.
And you can reverse it and it reverses quickly, right? So you got to be careful in the gearing, but it's a lot of fun. And then eventually, people catch up with the, and I wish I could have mass produced these, but I couldn't. I had limited resources that I was dealing with, but I did show it online on how I built it. And, everything is step-by-step. Everything is free of charge. So if you guys want to build your own mirror ball, reverse mirror ball, it's out there. And you don't need to go with a 22-inch mirror ball. You could downsize and do different things. And I think where I got the concept is Radio Shack had a little pyramid with a little mirror ball stuck on top. And I'm like, well, how can I want DMX is what I want. I'm all about DMX, run DMX. That's it. And I want to make sure that I can have control, because if you don't have control, to me, you just have spin and puke. And I know there's a lot of people that run spin and puke lights all the time with no control, and it just kind of goes all over the place. But after I discovered DMX and discovered the painfulness of a manual controller, and then getting into software is a whole different story. But when I created a look and people walk in and get that wow effect, when they walk in and go, oh, wow, that sells it, right? I mean, you want to see the thumbs up, high five, the, oh my gosh, people are, and then they break out their phones and they're all paparazzi all of a sudden because of what you did. When they see dragons flying through the ceiling, they're phoning their friends across the country, right? They're like, what the? Did you see this? Like the Channel 5 News is coming, that kind of stuff, right? But they're not coming to the wedding, but those are the kind of things that you want to do. When you have it snowing in a room, besides just static gobos across the room, but when you have a dynamic snow with gobos, it just ties it all together.
Right. You get that, what they call suspension of disbelief. It's not really snowing, but your mind wants it to snow, so you believe it for the moment. For the
put event. A little snow machine in there and get a little snow on your cheek every once in a while. Right. So that's all. I just have I'm so passionate about what I do, and unfortunately, it's that time to kind of hang up the headphones type of thing, and because if I can't do it big like this, I can't do it. And, with COVID happening, and everything, I think the timing is just kind of right for me. Unfortunately, I want to do other things. And because if I can't do it the way I want, I don't want to do it. And I feel that I'm cutting out, maybe, saying, adios or whatever at a peak. And why should you wait till you're, here's my two speakers and a flashy light. Oh yeah, I remember that guy one day back in the day when he used to do all this great stuff, right? Why can't I just be all that great stuff now and be done? I mean, it's it. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
So, all right, here is the big question that, that everybody's been waiting for. Is it peace out?
It is. Yeah, it is peace out. It is peace. I mean, I will still be a part of the community. I am a DJ at heart. I'm a lighting designer as well by accident. It just kind of happened. But I still know music. I still have music. I still like to play music. I want to have my favorite music. I can always help people. That's all I'm about, is helping. I don't know how many times my phone rings a day. Like, hey, I have this Chauvet light that I want to get, and mix or somebody's gonna, hey, you had this one thing. Can you help me? Oh, you got to reverse. Oh, I'm tech support, 24/7 plus working all day long and coming home and then doing my gigs but I don't mind. I will take 2 hours out of my day to help teach somebody DMX because I am. And I didn't charge them anything if I have the time to do it. Now, I might not have the time all the time. And that's why I have 500 videos up there of this is how I did it. And then also because I'm getting old, I forget how I do it. And I go back and look at my video and go, oh yeah, that's how you program to, set this channel. Oh yeah, now I remember. I have to Google my own self sometimes, and I go, oh yeah, that's what it is. So it's not funny, but it's funny.
Okay, can I make a
prediction? Oh no,
you did say peace out, but can I make one more request, because you are the only DJ that I know that has had the space shuttle as a background. Can you share that screen?
Let's see if I can find the space shuttle.
I don't know anybody else that can say that.
Space shuttle. Do I have the picture of the space shuttle? Oh, I do. Here we go.
And then we'll open it up to questions from the participants here then after.
Share my screen. Here we go. So this was a corporate event that I did underneath the space shuttle.
Oh,
my buddy David was there at that event, I think, and it was pretty cool. Not very many people get. Actually, I did the very first space shuttle landing on Edwards Air Force Base, and this kind of brings it full circle, right? So this is the resting point, and I started at the birth of the space shuttle, and I worked in aircraft industry all my life, and I got to see all kinds of cool things. I got to actually see this thing up close and personal in my hangar one time. It was hiding from a snowstorm or a rain event or something. I'm like, this thing can go to space, but it's scared a little rain. Like, I didn't get the concept, but anyway. So yeah,
wow. Thank you so much.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I know. Oh my gosh. All right, folks. Hey, we'll open it up. Anybody have questions for Mikey?
I have some comments.
Cool.
What's up, Brian?
Hey, mister. So, first of all, I want to tell a little story. I remember those
this can't be
early
the
days.
pure story.
Those early days of YouTube were fun, like Mikey was saying, because what we were doing was we were just sharing ideas with each other, and we were doing video responses to each other. It's a lonely job, I mean, you're by yourself. Your family may not care what you do. Your neighbor may not care what you do. Even your best friend may not be, into what you do. So, the ability to be able to do those videos in the early days and share them with like-minded people was pretty special. I thought. And Mikey,
and the rendering time, and it took almost days to render something back then, with the little computers that you had. So it was an all-day event to do a 5-minute, 10-minute video.
Well, I was just, to this day, I still just throw crap against the wall. I don't care. But Mikey was always a lot more concerned with what his video content looked like and how he presented it. And this guy popped up, and it's like, who is this dude, this larger than life guy, you know, in California, who's doing this amazing stuff. Right. So I got the opportunity to go to California to attend NAMM. And I was with our friend Chris Bedke. We were driving all over just all over Los Angeles, meeting people and things. And the final stop of the day was Santa Monica Pier. And Mike was going to come and make an appearance at Santa Monica Pier. And I was so excited to see this big dude show up and tell us all these stories. And come to find out, Mikey's like 5'2".
That's 5'6".
Whatever.
5'6".
I got
to argue with me, but it's 5'6".
Okay, so here I just want to share this screenshot real quick. And this is the day. Whoops, hold on a second. Okay, this is a picture from the day that I met Mikey Mike. And here we are on Santa Monica Pier in front of Bubba Gump Shrimp.
Bubba Gump picture. Yep, there we go.
Yep, there he is. And see, I'm only like 5'5", so don't pay attention to what Mikey thinks about 5'6". He's a liar. He had platforms on and everything.
I did. I always wear platforms. See, video recorder in hand as well. See,
yeah,
I think we all.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Do you remember the game we played that night?
I don't remember to tell you.
The Got a Dollar game?
I don't think so.
Oh, come on. You played it with us.
What was it again?
Remember there were beggars on Santa Monica Pier?
There always are beggars.
They're always there.
Right. It was really bad. And what I started doing, and you guys were tripping out, was I would wait for them to approach me and try to find that threshold right before they spoke and turn to them and ask them for $1 before they could ask me for $1.
Oh, I don't remember.
I was trying to teach you guys how to do that.
You're so tall that I probably didn't hear what you were saying. That's
probably it was fun. I was like, okay, Mikey, you try. It's like, you try. Got $1? No. Oh, you're useless. Then go away. That was fun.
I don't remember that. I don't remember.
That's funny.
I'm not saying I didn't do it, but I don't remember.
My criticism that I have on this whole thing is that, well, there's some things that I know for sure. And the one thing that I know for sure is Mikey isn't going anywhere. He'll always be here and part of the community. He'll always be our friend. He's never going to be a stranger. I'm still going to get that phone call every 6 months or whatever. And we're just going to talk about whatever. Nothing's going to change in that regard. That is not going to change. That I know. So if you're thinking, oh, we're never going to see Mikey again. No, you're probably going to see Mikey more because he's so connected to the community. He's going to want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
However,
Mikey's getting rid of the hot tub. Big gear.
He'll be in the hot tub.
I will be in the hot tub. That's
you're in the hot tub already. So what's new?
I got to make these old bones like they hurt. So I soak a lot.
Well, I got to tell you, you do make me jealous at times. Like when we had that nor'easter here and you're like in the hot tub, you know,
always in the hot tub.
Oh,
I'm like,
gotta go kite sailing.
So be you.
I don't know how many times I bounced out of this room and like I got to get up and kiting in the morning. See, I've got to go bounce, right? So
my prediction is this, and I know that he's going to deny it up and down, but give him some time. Things are getting easier. Things are getting smaller, and I know he likes to go big. He's maximum Mikey. He always has been, and but I don't see him just doing the final piece out. I don't. This guy's a designer. This guy's very passionate about what he does. He loves what he does. He's going to be amazing tech support for everybody. He's going to see the new flashy thing that I get or Scott gets or whatever. And he's going to go, ooh, what's that all about? And he's going to get ideas. And no, dude, just no, nobody's
right.
saying goodbye to Mikey today.
Full disclosure. I still have a small system, but I did it strategically to where I can't go out and do events. I mean, I shouldn't be going out and doing events. I have a pair of 8s. I got a small little Pioneer WeGo, a couple tripods, and a projector because I could watch movies out back.
You ever hear about like a guy who says, "Yeah, you know what? I quit drinking. I just have a small bottle of Jack Daniels over here."
Mikey, I got a question.
Got to stop talking
Jay.
about Jay. Look at this.
Jay, I like it, Jay.
Look at
That was
Jay.
pretty. That was on cue right there, buddy.
Jay. Oh,
Small one.
Jay, do you have props for everything?
Apparently,
Oh, if you can just give me a second, I'll show you how good I am with props.
That was
I
right
agree
on
with
target.
I agree with everything Brian said.
Mm-hmm.
And was Santa Monica 2009?
I think it's really
Or
close.
8.
8 or 9.
Because 9 is the night that Brian and Mikey and I hung out after the Hyatt show over at the Sandlot at NAMM.
Yes.
Must have been 8 then.
Yeah.
7
No,
or
it was
8.
2009. I got it. It was 2009.
Okay, then it's the same year. It's the same show. But I remember when Mikey put up his video with his uplights. He had 6 Rain 56
Oh, against the
Chavez
trailer.
up against your trailer. And probably my favorite Mikey story is about 5 years ago. Mikey calls me and says, "You know anyone with a Serato Rain SL1?" I said, "Yeah, I've got one. You want to sell it?" I said, "Yeah, but I don't really know what it's worth. I mean, I'd feel bad taking money. I don't use it. I paid a few $100 for it." He goes, "I'll trade you some stuff." Okay. So I drive up to meet him up by his place, and talking about props, I'd like to bring up, I don't know if you remember this one, Mikey.
Oh, this is
This is number 7 of the first of the Rain
LED rain.
56.
It still has a tape on it. Look at that.
It still has the tape on it. It still has the cables that you put on, which I'll never figure out how you got these things to go to Edison, like from that thing. But then here's, I guess this is DMX, or it's
No, that's the daisy chain, the power.
Oh, okay. So that's good. Well, that's, obviously I didn't hook him up that way because I'd be dead. But yeah, so Mikey shows
Missing
up.
a couple screws here.
Yeah, oh yeah. Mikey shows up and gives me 34 lights.
holy crap.
Oh, I'm not kidding. 34, not all of this. There's like 15 of these. There's like 10 of the par 38s. There's like 4 MBT pars. There's a laser light from Chavez, but he goes, only the eclipse part of it works. So you get the weird 60s, like the RGB atmospheric, just the atmospheric. The laser doesn't work. I'm like, that's okay. And a hockey bag that's got more stuff in it. And I'm like, you're only getting this. And the whole time I'm like, oh my God, I'm so lucky. And about halfway home in the car, I call my wife and I'm like, you can't believe it. The Stratus is full of stuff. This is amazing. I got all these lights. This is incredible. And she goes, without missing a beat, she goes, it's just probably crap you wanted to get rid of. Now it's your problem. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, maybe that was fun.
I bet you that light still works.
I still have a couple of those. They work great.
No, they still work. But
Yeah.
I did a wedding like a week later, and I set 10 of these, and they wanted pink. And with each light, I'm looking at it like, okay, that's pink. And when I walked away from the wall, it was pink, but it was a little different shade of pink consistently through. And I'm like, this is hard to do,
Yeah.
And
Well,
the
that's what
bride looked at me,
DMX
she
is all
goes,
about, right?
I
So-
really like that. I go, I know. It gives a depth to the lighting. And I had to say something because none of the lights were the same fucking color. So I'm like, it's a depth thing. This takes years. Like I got these from Mikey. And otherwise I would just be pink. Like, what good is pink? You want depth. She's like, I really like it. I'm like, great. And I walked away just like, next time you get lights from anyone, turn them fucking on first.
That's why we
Yeah, I
met out
don't
in the
know.
middle of the
You know what?
desert.
I like I said, I agree with Brian. I think Mikey has a lot to offer.
Mhm.
I think Mikey can be a great help. He could be a great mentor. He could be a great teacher. I always thought Mikey's a great DJ. And I think that gets overlooked. because there's so much going on that people don't remember or realize. Mikey's like a legit DJ. He BPMs with his ear. He knows all different styles of music. But I think the lighting always took precedence. And I don't think people even then realized he did a gig a few years ago in a gym with like 1,200 people. And he had the 4-bar bars on top with like 4 mirrors in the corners of the dance. Like, it was insane. And I'm like, what, like, how long was the gig? He's like, an hour. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, 6-hour setup. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, but it's great. Look at it. Doesn't it look great? I'm like, but that's Mikey. Mikey puts in the effort where everyone else would go, I'm just going to turn on the vertigo and point it. Mikey's like, look, I can make this go upside down.
Mike did a lot of clubs back in the day, like what? The Red Onion, Victoria Station, and all these places, right?
Black Angus,
Black Angus,
Baxter's, Rubens, a bunch all clubs all over Southern California. And then
did you do any straight clubs?
Only on occasion.
Asking.
Yeah.
No, you know what?
Just the ones that you were at, Jay.
The best of everything to you, Mikey. We're always here for you. You know,
Thanks,
you can reach me in a heartbeat. You know, and you know, I won't be surprised to get a phone call going, hey man, can I borrow like 8 of those lights? I got this wedding this weekend. Sure, dude. I'll meet you at the McDonald's up on Palmdale.
Literally, that's why I sold there. If I kept one box of wireless uplights, then I would be like, okay, I just need this one little bit bigger speaker and I could do it. But
he'd build one. He'd be doing it from scratch, of course. So.
Hey, Mikey here.
I have other things that I can do from scratch besides DJ stuff, you know. And now I'm like, I did something with kiteboarding the other day, and I'm like, well, here's a video, and this is how you put the spin thing in and do it. I'm like, oh no, there we go again. So now I do kiteboarding videos, right? I got 10 cameras, one on the kite, one on my helmet, one on the board, one on the beach, and I'm blending all that together. Now I'm doing this kiteboarding thing. I'm like, what am I thinking? You know,
what's your passion? You obviously don't.
I want people to see how I died in the, you know, the how the drowning happened. So it's just how the shark ate the kiteboarder in Long Beach or whatever.
Yeah, that's all. I want to get that YouTube channel. Get that title now. Get Doing It From Death, the Mikey Mike channel.
Right.
just in case, because you don't want that video to end up in the wrong channel. Get it all set for people in blogs and, you know.
You're not from the hot tub.
You're right. I mean, it's not easy to, you know, try to create passion and, create moments for people and then document them all as a single owner, single op. I don't have a team. I don't book a gig unless I can do it myself. Right. With all what you see behind me, that's Mikey Mike hustling all that stuff in, and getting about 60. Those things are getting a little heavy, right? So, and my knees are not doing great. My ankles aren't doing great.
You should take up kiteboarding.
One of those extreme sports, right?
Yeah.
But what's nice about kiteboarding is I don't have to paddle.
No, just hit the water like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. At the first part of learning, it was a little difficult, but it's like water skiing. Yeah, you just hit the water at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Don't ride the boat so fast. Yeah.
Do skydiving.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of skydiving. I don't want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane, really, to say the truth. So, unless there's something on fire, I'm not jumping out.
Did you, by the way, I missed earlier, I apologize. Did you show pictures of early gigs? That one at that one hall you did a ton where you had all the uplights behind the head table and you had the old Ramza speakers that were like horn on top of cab on top of.
Yeah, I have the old Ramza system here. Let me see if I can find a picture.
You got to see this.
I can show you some of my old systems, but let me see if I can.
You got to see the stuff this poor guy used to set up. Because I'm like,
when I first met you, you got only Ramza stuff.
Oh, it's the big stuff too.
So there you go. Here's some of my small stuff that I used to use.
Yeah.
Double 18s with 6 Ramzas going around, and I'd use a big pole on top of these. So it is another. So imagine going to a wedding with this double 18 and 2 Ramzas on top.
Yep.
I'm hiding it with palm trees and trying to put tablecloths over it because it looked, and grandma walks by this thing and she's freaked out. I don't want to sit by that, and and especially the venue owner. Oh, we're
gonna
have
die.
it that loud. I go, it's not going to be loud. It's just going to be right. So I mean, it is what it is. So I don't know.
She just spray painted AC/DC Euro Tour on the side.
Right. Let me see if I can find that. Where is my folder?
Yeah, you did a lot.
Here's one of my. Here's one of my. Oh, I don't know what happened here. Okay. Where's it? Here's one of my first systems. This was when in the 70s. So I had I did it from scratch. This is black or red and white terry cloth that I flushed in some Technics B2s or SLD2s, and I had a Lafayette mixer. And me and Howie were talking about this little piece in the center here. That's my light controller. So
Well,
I had.
You have to
I had
make
lights.
it full screen.
Open the image.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Is
I was
it
going to say, there's like 20 images up.
20 images up?
Yeah.
Open up MM6.
It's not. Oh, hang on. Let me see. Stop sharing. It's open, but it wasn't working. So let's try it again. Minimize.
I think the other thing that you need to get credit for is the new YouTube kids that are doing all the trussing and the lighting with their iPad. They really owe you a big debt of gratitude that you put in the time, because they're doing the same stuff you did in relationship to the number of lights, but they're doing it in like 51 minutes because they're whipping out an iPad and they've got everything already set and they've only done it once. Like, I don't think they could DMX any better than a dog could. But the technology has changed and made it that you don't need that sort of setup anymore.
Right. Did that picture come up?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is one of my first systems, red and white terry cloth, and with SLD2 Techniques turntables, a Lafayette mixer with no crossfader. It was all dials. Right here was me and Howie were talking about this the other day. These are 3 momentary buttons that I used to control my lights with. I would 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 to the beat of the music, and then they would dance across the stage. And then, I made these speakers in the back. There's some 10s with a 8 and some piezo tweeters. That was my system. But going from there to playing behind a spaceship, it just it changes things, right?
Yeah.
It
So
sure does. Yeah.
it's amazing what you can do to a room and just completely transform a room. So using old ugly speakers to really having a look, right? Having some sort of a just a different look to the room. And that's what I really love to do, right? Doing it from scratch here turned into, doing it from scratch here. So you just can't imagine how happy that makes me feel when you see dual mirror balls in the garage, and then you turn around and you can make a amazing look out of it, right?
I've never seen anyone else do that. I still haven't seen anyone put multiple mirror balls upside down at an event. Nobody.
Nobody.
Who owned
Right.
that one?
Well, look at this is all, you don't know how, some of you know how old GLI is, right?
Yeah.
But this is 1200s GLI with a custom case that I've already built that, this is me with hair when I was, 12. I don't know how old I was.
Baby.
Now,
So,
what year was that, Mikey?
this had to be 82, 80 something.
Those
Hey,
are the twins from the 90s.
there's guys out here now making booths like that and selling them for $2,000.
Sure. But you know
So
what?
you're a little ahead of your time.
So here's the booth in progress, doing it from scratch, back in the day, right? Here's Mikey Mike at Baxter's Video doing, I want to be a cowboy because I was an entertainer, when I first started. So, this is at a high school, big store in Vega, but still, this was back in the 70s and 80s, right? Look how old that speaker is. That's
Big old Perkins.
this was my buddy, but this is one of my other systems after the red and white when I went to black, a button tuck. That was the
That
new
looks
thing.
dope, though. That's in
Right?
style now, dude. That facade from Dragon Front would be $1,200. Not exaggerating.
Yep.
I
Right?
swear to God, Mikey, I looked at one at Expo last year. tuft leather, white or black, and it was $1,200.
Wow.
Oh, here's a video. Can you guys see the video?
Yeah.
So this is
the dancing on the cloud.
Dancing on the cloud, it's kind of the staple that I love to do, but some nice dance floor wash going on to the dance floor.
Looks
and
great.
kind of helping the clients, kind of work through that. And at any given time, I can tell the movers, because we're using DMX, I want you to go to the back wall and I want you to, hit that mirror ball on the back wall. And then you get a whole completely different look, right? It just looks romantic and they're having an amazing time and an amazing day. Right, you can take those mirror balls and you can send them outside, and you can light up a whole outside venue, right? And people just they fall in love with this stuff, right? People are taking pictures around the room. The bride and groom are totally in love. This client here, she wanted something whimsical, so I put a monogram on the dance floor with the dancing on a cloud effect, and a few uplights around the room, and their name just kind of pull through the cloud effect, right? And I think we captured that feeling, right? So they were extremely happy. And when you can make clients happy, this is an outside venue, doing out under the stars kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun when you can do different things like that. It just, I don't know.
Well, Mikey, let's face it, you were willing to put in the work.
Yeah, definitely.
90% of us that won't even look at that will look at that and go, that's amazing. I'd love to do that. It comes down to more the work than even the money.
Sure. And I hear a million DJs go, my setup is, 2 speakers and a flashing light. It takes me 15 minutes. I'm in and out and I'm gone. Right. Is that an event? To me, that is, I've done a million weddings. No, you've done one wedding a million times.
A million times.
Yeah.
Good point. Wow. Wow.
Every
right
picture that you
Brian's
saw.
video, didn't it?
Right.
So Mike, you inspired me to go ahead and get, some of the uplighting and some of the really cool stuff. I even bought moving heads and built these really amazing cases and everything. And I realized that I don't want to set up moving heads. I don't want to put them on top of trusses. I don't want to carry them in. I don't want to learn DMX.
Some people are set and forget. It's fine. That's just not my style.
I did, but not as good as what you did. You did some amazing, amazing stuff.
I appreciate that. I mean, I really do. I mean, it's to get the feedback and it's really crazy. I mean, I walked behind Brian at Mobile Beat one time, and people are just hounding him like, "Hey, Brian, I want to get a picture. I want to get a picture." I'm like, "Oh, that's really cool, right?" And then a couple of years later, I walked through Mobile Beat, and they're like, "Hey, Mikey, Mike, oh no, hey!"
And I've been with you during that time too, and it's crazy.
It's like, whoa, what happened, right? So yeah, but it's fun, and I appreciate it.
And I did help you on that space shuttle gig and over at Virgin, and that was incredible.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff.
Oh, you got to go to the Virgin one too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, it was the same day, so I was really tired.
It was a crazy show.
It was
a crazy show. Full blown production. Yeah.
Yeah, we did one in the morning, and then we had to drive like 100 miles and do the other one at the space shuttle. And I think I provided some of my subs and stuff, and we needed extra gear because it was, a pretty big room. So
yeah, I had enough gear. Though. I had enough gear to do the other show, but the problem was it was already deployed at the other show.
Exactly.
And you can't strike right away. You have to strike like 3 weeks later for some of these big productions, right? So it's like.
I think you sent me ahead of time to set up the space shuttle while you were still tearing down over at Virgin. So
yeah, and that was at the Science Center, and just even to get access to the room is tricky. So, but yeah, it was amazing. Fun, I've done a lot of amazing stuff that I'm just blown away that I even got to do it. Right. So
yeah,
I'm just like, wow.
I got to meet Richard Branson that day, and I had to sign a waiver saying that I would not speak to Richard Branson. And so all of a sudden I go into the bathroom and we're both taking a piss next to each other. And he goes, "How you doing?" So it's like, what am I going to tell him? I'm not supposed to talk to you. So I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And we chatted a little bit, and I go, how was your flight? And he goes, "Oh, flight was really nice. Now I'm just getting ready for the telly, because he was going to do all these television interviews." And he was a really nice guy and said, "Hey, mate, take care. Have a good one." And it's like, I wasn't supposed to talk to him, but hey.
Yeah, he's pretty open. He's pretty friendly and open.
He was pretty great.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
That's awesome, Mikey. Does
Thanks,
anybody
Howie.
else have
Appreciate that.
one last question before we end the show for Mikey?
You got to stick around for my show,
Oh, we sure are.
Yeah, we got another show. I want
Mikey.
you to know it's another
You're staying
show.
for my show.
I'm here, man.
You're the guy for this one. This is right up your alley.
Nice.
What's the show?
Yep,
Might
I'm
not
here.
be able to say the whole
Alrighty.
thing,
Oh,
but
wait till
I'm
you find
good.
out.
Oh, I can't.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm gonna let Mikey Mike close the show. Mikey, go ahead, have at it.
Hey, well, first
Bring it
off,
on a cloud in commemoration of Mike.
right? Nice, Jay. I appreciate that. Hey, and that's what it's all about, having fun and enjoying yourself. And I had a great run, and I can't say any bad thing about any part of DJing in my whole life. I mean, from doing high school gigs to club gigs to, getting out of that and doing wedding receptions and corporate functions, and then just getting to meet the whole, for the most part, I'm not saying create, but being a part of the creation of the whole YouTube and new phenomenon, I guess what you'd call it, and the DJ sharing piece of that, and that'll go on forever, right? Those videos are there forever until YouTube decides to not be YouTube anymore, right? And turn into MTV, I guess. I don't know, but
stop playing videos.
Right. Your music video channel not playing videos. I mean, what the hell? So it could happen, but I mean, it's been an amazing adventure and a lot of great friends I've met, and Brian, Howie, and David and Jay and everyone. It's awesome, right? And I can't have better friends. And like who was saying it? Jay said it the other day. Oh yeah, he's going to call me in, or Brian says he's going to call me in, 6 months, 8 months, a year from now, and go, hey, what's up? And you just didn't even leave off where you start. It's just like, you called me yesterday. Like it could be a year, 2 years.
That's
hey, Mikey, what's up? Right. And it doesn't matter. Right. And you reach out when it's important, and, or it's just, you just reach out because
You want to.
you give them flowers just because you give them flowers, right?
Family
Because
thing.
sometimes you just have to do that.
You don't skip a mobile beat.
Right. Well,
Right.
I mean, don't skip a moment.
Party.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy mobile beat. I like some of the seminars and different things like that. Don't get me wrong. There was great content. I gave some content there as well. But what I got most out of it was the networking and those little nuggets sitting in the hallway or in the bathroom, shaking Richard Branson's, whatever you're shaking. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? It's no, I'm just playing with you. But that's where you find that, that's where you get that one wow idea, right? Hey, if I let these uplights fall down on the ground and now they're shooting across the floor, maybe that does a whole different effect, right? Oh, whatever. I don't know how many times I had my computer with me and I did like impromptu DMX training right there and showed people, 20 people how to do so, and they get it, right? Because they have a one-on-one session with somebody that speaks their language or in a way, communicates it just in layman's terms. Because although people might say you're a rocket scientist, I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm a DJ Mikey Mike, and that's it. Peace out, man.
All righty. Peace out. Thank you.
I got to say one really quick thing to Mikey, real quick. And I wanted to say this to the very end. I read something that makes total sense, and this is why I'm not worried. And it's simply this. When people retire from things they do, they stop doing them. The problem with being a DJ is you can't retire because you can't stop being who you are.
True. So that's why I'll still be Mikey Mike, right?
Yeah.
And
so
that
you're
will.
just giving us I'll see you guys later. This isn't goodbye.
All right, we'll go with that.
All right.
So
Peace out.
Stay
Thank you
tuned
all.
for my